Welcome to Insurgency Sandstorm Frenzy Mode, and that entire intro sequence that you just saw was entirely gameplay. There was nothing from trailers or anything in between. It's just something I cut together which I felt really represented just how batshit crazy and enjoyable this mode is. Now, for those of you who don't know, Insurgency Sandstorm is a tactical military shooter built off of the original Insurgency game, with new graphics, new animations, and everything in between. It's relatively cheap, I think it's about $30 on the Steam store, and is about to go into a free weekend from Thursday the 20th of June, all the way until Monday the 24th of June. It's one of the most hardcore first-person shooters available at the moment. It has a very minimalistic HUD, features Twitch shooter-based gameplay, and you have to have great reaction speeds, as well as great patience as well to play this game, because it can be difficult. Now, one of the things that stands out for me in Insurgency, and probably in my opinion, its standout feature as a game, is its fantastic cooperative experience. Now, Insurgency Sandstorm features a variety of cooperative modes that involve capturing objectives, attacking regions, and can be played with multiple friends. It's really great, really fun, and some of the most challenging and fast-paced experiences you'll have on any given shooter in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure, as far as I can say, that this is probably the closest you'll get to the best cooperative first-person shooter experience at the moment. It's hard and it doesn't give you any leeway. It's not one of those games that's going to hold your hand all the way through. It's one of those games that's going to throw you in the deep end and wish you good luck. For the $30 or around about £24-25 that you pay for the game, you will also get new content for free on Insurgency Sandstorm, with a brand new roadmap that has recently been revealed for the remainder of 2019, and this update that has brought in this new Frenzy mode also features a new map as well as two new weapons, the VHS and the QBZ. Now, getting back to Frenzy mode, this is by no means the most polished and amazing zombie slash sort of crazy style experience that you'll ever see. However, it is a really damn good mode. It very much resembles early Left 4 Dead, I think was the best example. Now, when you're playing Frenzy mode, you're expected to capture and destroy objectives whilst facing swarms of various different enemies, and much like Left 4 Dead, those enemies will have special abilities. The ones in white are called jumpers, I believe, and they will bounce between with a small teleportation effect, and there are also other things as well, like for example, the armoured ones and the ones with IEDs. There are various different types, but all of them have melee weapons only, and will either rush you up close and personal, throw Molotov cocktails, activate IEDs, or attempts to stab you at any given opportunity. The maps that have been featured in Frenzy mode here are lots of twisting alleyways and corners, and you'll find the objectives tend to be very much in close spaces for the chaos to ensue. This is honestly one of the most challenging cooperative modes I've ever played, full stop, and I'm not just talking about something as simple as a cooperative experience where you can actually win every once in a while, which does happen on the original co-op of Insurgency Sandstorm, but rather I'm talking about one where I played for 2.5 hours and I didn't actually win any of them. It's really hard to do. There are times where you think everything's going swimmingly, but all of a sudden an IED will go off and 4 people are down, or one Molotov cocktail takes out half your team, or you just happen to run out of ammunition and things get very tense and very difficult very quickly. And it's honestly one of the reasons that this is probably the best mode I've played in a very long time. The AI Insurgency actually puts forward to you are not stupid. It's not one of those games where you can really easily get past a co-op mission without having to think about what's going on. You need to be organized, you need to be together, and when you're working with teammates, it is possible to get pretty far, but even then, it's difficult to gauge any kind of completion. I found typically what you'll notice in this is that people either stray too far forward or people cluster up too far together, and because of that they either get taken out by a Molotov cocktail or slowly picked off one by one. It's a really fine balance that you have to achieve, and you have to look out for each other's backs, whether that's taking out an enemy that's about to stab somebody as they're reloading or anything in between. I can't tell you the amount of times I've had to reload a magazine and had to run away from an enemy and wait for somebody to take him out because I couldn't complete the reload in time. Now, Insurgency is one of those games that features lots of decision making as well, and it's one of the reasons that I find this cooperative mode and just the game in general to be really great. For example, something as simple as a reload system has multiple layers to it that really does give you decisions in high pressure situations. This is a mode where you're going to need every single bullet. However, if you find yourself caught in a sticky situation low on ammunition with multiple enemies in front of you, you have the option to do a fast reload, which will dump the entire magazine and won't keep any spare ammunition you had. Now, this can be a very tricky decision to make, and sometimes it will come back to haunt you, but sometimes it's just necessitated by the conditions imposed on you. And it's really interesting as well, because it's one of those games where you will panic, and there will be lots of situations where, things are quite difficult to do. I've had kind of co-op rounds where I'll be firing at enemies, I'll get spooked by something, or I'll get hit by something, I'll become inaccurate, I'll miss shots, and because of that, I'll likely go down. And it really feels as though that if you can maintain your cool and pull off your shots correctly and make the right decisions, that this is a mode that can be won. But so far, like I said, I haven't had a lot of luck. Now, this playlist is honestly incredible. I've really enjoyed it, and I really do hope that you guys get hands-on during the free weekend. This isn't even a hashtag ad. I just really enjoy Insurgency for what it is as a game. And this is something that will eventually be coming to console this year by the sounds of things. And what's interesting about this update as well is not only does it now feature the original Insurgency playlists, which have multiple modes, it also is introducing an arcade playlist where people can play in a much more fast-paced and shooter-style experience on modes like Team Deathmatch and Domination, as well as things like simple stuff and crazy playlists like Frenzy that you're seeing here. So you'll likely see some rotations of these game modes in the future, and this is running on the Unreal Engine, and they've also announced that modding will be coming to the game in the not too distant future, meaning that custom game modes like this could be a huge part of Insurgency Sandstorm going forward into the future. And of course, once the Unreal Engine on Insurgency is capable of being modded, you could see everything possible coming into it, whether it's a SWAT style arena of doing something like the initial missions on Call of Duty, or if it's something as crazy and batshit as Frenzy mode. There'll be plenty of things potentially that people are going to be doing, and I'm really excited to see where Insurgency is going over the next few years. Now, with all of that being said, I do want to draw your attention to probably something that I think is one of the best parts about Insurgency. It's the team-based experience. Lots of people on Insurgency use their microphones, and it's pretty much necessitated for some of these cooperative modes. And whether you're just somebody who doesn't really enjoy using their mics or you're a little bit shy, everybody feels really welcome in Insurgency. I think it's one of those communities where you will get those people who say random and dumb shit, but for the most part, it's actually quite easy to find a group of people on cooperative or anything in between and squad up with them. And it's one of those unique experiences about a PC game, especially in terms of tactical shooters, that I've really come to enjoy. So Frenzy mode is something that I've really enjoyed, but bearing in mind there are entire cooperative playlists available standalone from this as well in Insurgency Sandstorm, a full multiplayer experience as well as a competitive playlist, full character customization, and rotating arcade modes alongside things like Frenzy as well, that really make this a great experience. And to top it all off, again, every single piece of content that comes to the game will be free, and with the option of modding coming later in the year, you're going to see everything in between in Insurgency. And I really do think that this free weekend is a good chance for a large amount of you to get hands-on and try something a little bit different, and try something scary, try something challenging for once. I feel like modern shooters have really gotten into this era where it's online multiplayer, and yes, you could do better or you can do worse than other players, but it's not a difficult experience, it's not a grindy experience. And for those of you who grew up on games like Doom and the original games that were a bit more grindy like that, you'll find that this is kind of your home if you're into tactical shooters, but also something that will give you a bit of difficulty on the side. And like I say, for those of you who are on PlayStation and Xbox One, this is something that is being aimed at releasing around about later this year. There were a lot of issues at the time with, in terms of performance and stuff like that, but Insurgency has really turned that around. I mean, at the moment, I think I'm averaging around 160 FPS with an i9 and an RTX 2080 Ti, so I'd like to think that in real terms value on an Xbox and a PlayStation, at the bare minimum 40 to 60 FPS is achievable on lower settings, and with a bit of luck we will see this game arrive there in the not too distant future. Now, for those of you who are interested in trying out the game, there are plenty of ways to do it on the Steam store. If you're interested in purchasing it now, it's available there. But again, The free weekend is available not too long from now. We've got the 20th of June, and that will run for about 4 days. As always, folks, I'm really glad that I'm here making content over summer. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and of course, let me know if you want to see more Insurgency content on the channel. I do like branching out and trying different shooters, but sometimes it's quite difficult to gauge and test the waters as to what people are looking at right now and whether or not people are enjoying it. So if this is something you want to see on the channel a bit more, be it co-op missions and maybe even with a few other Battlefield YouTubers, let me know in the comment section below. As always, folks, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again in another video.